day, Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Wordz, and happy Monday to everyone. Let me see the beautiful faces. There are the beautiful faces and the clean rooms. Everyone who did not clean their room has something in the back. I can see like one of those graphics to hide, what they're doing in the back. We see y'all. Y'all didn't clean your room. All right. Enough stalling. Let us get to it. This is the Monday Night Online Open Mic. We have done it for 117 weeks in a row. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. If you'd like to see any of our past open mics, you can find all of them on Facebook and YouTube. We've only recently been streaming on Twitter. And if you happen to be watching this live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, and you'd like to join us on Zoom, the number's on the bottom, 279-995-364. It's going to be on the screen for a few minutes, so make sure you jot it down real quickly. We'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can help support us with a tax-deductible donation by going to www.nuyorican.org/contribute or hitting us on the Cash App, Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Tonight's theme is a heavy one. Tonight is National PTSD Awareness Day. So, of course, poets, if you signed up, you need not be on theme tonight. You never need to be on theme to share your poetry on Mondays. The themes are more of a suggestion. So when I know today is PTSD Awareness Day, so I figured that this should be the topic. So we'll see how our poets explore this heavy topic. Also, you will see to the right all of our themes coming up for the next 2 months. Like on July, that Monday is July 4th. Well, after a barbecue, I'm going to be hanging out with y'all on July 4th. We're going to be talking about America, however you want to talk about it. And you can see all for the next 2 months. I'm actually excited about August 22nd. That's actually National Tooth Fairy Day. So we're going to write about the Tooth Fairy. And of course, my girlfriend Mariella, who is here today, is excited about August 1st because it is National Girlfriend Day here in the United States. And she'll be here in the United States. Moving on, if you want to find out more about the Monday Night Online Open Mic and all of the good stuff that I happen to be doing, you can be checking me out on Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube at Advocate of Wordz. And when you spell words, that's with a Z because poetic license. What? All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get to some of the rules. Poets, when you're performing, please turn your cameras on. You can use the virtual backgrounds to hide your messy room if you want, but we want to see your beautiful faces. We want to see you be expressive. We are trying to simulate an in-person open mic as much as possible. So, poets, when you know I'm about to call you, please turn your camera on and be ready. Also, please have your poems ready. We have a full list tonight. I want to make sure that we get to everyone in a timely manner, so please have your poems out. If you're going analog style and you have it in a book, make sure the book is turned to the page that your poem is on, or if it's on your computer, make sure that you have that file open so you are ready to go. Also, poets, you have 3 minutes to perform, not 3 minutes and 15 seconds, 3 minutes to perform, and we give you about a buffer of 30 seconds for your intro, okay? Let the people know they can find you online if you have social media and stuff like that. Please do not oversell yourself. The people who like you are going to go check out what you're doing, and you're going to have all of that in your social media because I know a bunch of us are doing a bunch of things. As well, in terms of censorship, put the kiddies to bed. Some of our poets like to use mommy and daddy language. And on a more serious note, especially with tonight's theme, our poets can tend to be very vulnerable and may share some things that are very triggering. So there is no censorship tonight. Thou has been warned. Also, after our poets cut open a literal artery in their soul and pour it out into their poems and then come on Zoom and share it with you, you are going to see this pop up on your screen. You're going to click that blue button, unmute yourself, and you're going to shower the poets with love because it is never easy doing this on stage or in front of a camera. Even if it's a webcam. Sign-ups begin tonight. Like I said, the list is closed. Sign-ups begin tonight begin 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, you would visit nuyorican.org and click Full Events Calendar. When you do so, you then sign up for the date that you would click on the date that you want to sign up for. So next week, that would be July 4th. Then you would get an artist RSVP ticket. That artist RSVP ticket will not appear on the website until 24 hours before the show. And then when it does, you make sure you get yourself that, and you will be on the open mic list. So real quick, we're going to talk about the anthology. I got to change that date. I don't know why I have that date there. That's when the submission dates were open. But later on tonight, I'm going to let you know about the deadline with the anthology, update everyone on that. Of course, we're going to talk about my workshop. I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about it because of what we got planned this summer. Let's Write a Book of Poems. That's every Sunday. I'm going to talk about that later. And also, I do have to talk about hybrid because that is in 2 weeks with our after party karaoke. A lot to be talking about. But right now, we are going to focus on this list right here. These are the poets who are coming to speak. As you can see, we have a few whose names are in black, like Mr. Speaker. I haven't heard from him in a while. I know every now and then he pops in to see what we're doing, but we haven't heard from him in a good while. I'm excited to hear from him. I don't know who Kyle Stud still is, but I'm excited to hear Kyle. Whatever they got for us tonight, I think this will definitely be the first time Kyle's rocking. I really don't recognize the name. And Vilma Luz. I don't know who Vilma is, so I think Vilma is new to the community as well. I'm excited to see what she's bringing tonight. And real quickly, I had seen that Vilma had cleaned up whatever room she is in. So congrats to you, Vilma. It looks nice and clean. We are ready for your poetry. With that being said, a shout out to the sung hero of the community, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. Also, if you everyone here on Zoom, if you open up the chat, I just put the whole list in there. Also, you can change your name here on Zoom so that when you are performing, people have a visual of what your name is so they could go give you a follow. All right, I have been talking a lot, and we did not come hear me talk. No, we have come to the Legendary Poets Cafe, even if it's virtually. And right now, we are going to go with the man who's very familiar with writing legends, and that is our very own Mr. Urban Cowboy Poet. Brother, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours. Good to see you. Beard's looking great, by the way. Beard is looking great.
Oh, thanks. You can find my videos on Urban Cowboy Poetry on YouTube or Facebook. And you can buy my book. It's out. I haven't got it yet, but I'm taking pre-orders. Urban Cowboy Poetry is the book. And you can, PayPal at my Gmail, urbancowboypoet@gmail.com. It's $15 plus shipping. And you can, if you don't want to pay that way, you can message me and we'll work something out. Yay! Boy, your theme.
Did we lose Urban Cowboy Poet?
Wine and alcohol. And it's new stick. It's an urban legend, not in the book because I just wrote it. It's called Party Animal. I've got an unstable internet connection. You can hear me though, right?
You good to go. We good to go. We ready for it, brother.
Okay, it says unstable, but so am I, so it didn't stop me. Party Animal. 3 young Swedes rode a ferry to Denmark. Sven suggested they visit a wildlife park. The first time abroad for these young Swedish nationals, they saw an adventure with some party animals. They loaded the Jeep and themselves with fine Danish beer and drove around to see what beasts would come near. Lions and leopards lounging in the grass did not turn their heads as the noisy Jeep passed. But the raucous trio had caught the eye of some hoofed herbivores as the Jeep clattered by. Luke thought one idea would be good for a laugh. He opened the sunroof, offered beer to a giraffe. That tall beast looked thirsty running around the plain. Luke bet he loved Tuborg as much as any Dane. Ollie kept driving. The giraffe easily kept up, running at high speed and lapping beer from the cup. His long blue tongue scared them. Sven wanted to stop. He pushed the lever to close the Jeep's top. The beast didn't pull out. His head became trapped. He began to upchuck all the beer he had left. The sunroof was stuck. Gobs of giraffe puke were now covering Ollie and Sven and Luke. The trio was ejected from the wildlife park and told they could never return to Denmark. A new group of visitors gave the keeper a call. Why can't we get close to the tallest of all? He runs away fast when approached by a Jeep, but no zoo will take him. He's ours to keep. Our only giraffe is forever spooked by an encounter with a Swede named Luke. Oh dear, what can the matter be? The poor critter suffers from PTSD. Thank you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves and give it up for the urban cowboy poet, y'all.
Yes, yes. Congratulations.
Ready to set it off in here on this Monday. So,
Thank you, Urban.
Urban cowboy poet, make sure you put your info into the chat as well so that people can know where they can find you on YouTube. All right, let's keep this moving. Next coming up is, make way for Miss Attitude. Kawana James, better known around these parts as Miss Attitude. We love her energy. We love her poetry. Miss Attitude, it is a pleasure to see you. Let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for everything you got for us.
Thank you all. I'm glad to be back. I always feel like I'm among family with you all. My name is Kawana James on Facebook. I'm Kawana James, AKA Miss Attitude, a totally adult spoken word artist and storyteller. And I had another poem, but I decided to go with your theme because this poem, I wrote it a year ago, but it seems like I could have written it today. And it's called Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. Out of order, disorderly, out of body, not me experience. No logic, nonsense has you convinced nothing will ever make sense again in this world. So you go through life watching your back for that knife, feeling cuts, but nothing yet to take your life. Traumatized, wide-eyed, surprised like a deer in the headlights. Distressed to the point you forget that you're stressed, need to rest, but your brain is all in a mess, in disorder. You know your order, but you can't clean it up all by yourself. But you can't ask for help because then everyone would know you had a problem you couldn't solve, and that thought gives you resolve to go it alone. Puts you in the danger zone where you stay smoked and stoned, filled with pills, standing on the windowsill, about to jump, land in a lump of dirty laundry that needs to be washed and folded, molded into something dry and clean. And not to be mean, but you gotta open your mouth and say something. Make an attempt to get the help you need. Take the lead in whatever your disorder is and begin to clean it up. Peace and blessings, Miss Attitude.
Unmute yourselves and make some noise for Miss Attitude, y'all.
all right,
Amazing.
tell them about it. Tell them
Thank you.
about it.
That is the PTSD. That really is. Thank you.
Miss Attitude, Kawana James, make sure that you go give her a follow. Kawana, make sure you put your info into the chat, make it easier for the people to copy and paste and give you a follow. All right, let's keep it moving. Next up, we go into Scribbles. Wait, where is Christy Scribbles? Where? There you go. Loving it. All right, Christy, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
I am the Poetry Alchemist on Instagram, and when I saw the theme tonight, I had to sign up. I am spitting this poem for my dad and all the veterans and all the soldiers, you know, current military, active military. It's going to be hard to get through. I just wrote it, so woo, here we go. Eyes so cloudy. Sometimes I see glimpses inside his smile, his laugh, his eyes, yes, in his eyes. That's where he lies. That's where the old him lives. The him before, the him back then. Because back then, in those growing up years, those formative years, he was there, he was present, he was him. That man that used to be him, the father so free man, the man that threw catch and came to all of my games and taught me stuff in the garage and took care and was my dad, was the best dad. I didn't even know what I had until it was gone, until he was gone. Those days that his eyes changed, the person who was him was no more, was never more. It was so many years before I figured it all out and realized what had really taken him away from me and snatched my dad away. Was the PTSD that snatched him right away from me. The memories surfaced from the view of the Nam, and the childhood trauma it spilled into his brain. And things started to change. His eyes started to glaze, and his pupils were so cloudy. As storms rolled in and rolled out and rolled away with him, with a whisk and a fury, the PTSD wrapped his mind in a worry, and a person that wasn't him, wasn't he, the dad of me, never again to be. Never again to be. He fights and he fights, but the battle just wins as his mind turns the screws of the war in the jungle. Those scenes kept alive by the replaying of loops, and the dad that I grew up with just changed into a new version, a new person that didn't have space for me anymore. His mind was too cloudy, and his eyes couldn't see me, couldn't really see me, couldn't even hear me. I needed him to hear me, but he was lost. He was lost inside his head. And the voices talked and confused him. And people just used him and took and took and took. And I couldn't even look at the eyes that I had loved because they were not his. They were not his, not there. They were not there. And he was so unaware of the love that he gave and the child that he had raised and the good he did, the great dadding that he did. But sometimes, now in his older years, his grandpa years, his old voice, I hear. And his laugh and his eyes light up, and he sees my sister's little girl, and his eyes sometimes show me the way back to him. But the trauma is always and will always, always win. The PTSD it stole from me, the eyes of he, and the dad of she. Who is me? Who is me? Where is he? Where is he? His eyes haunt me. His eyes haunt me. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give Christy Scribble some love.
Well, thank you.
Round.
Thank you for sharing that hard memory with all of us.
Thank you for being vulnerable with us.
Very vulnerable.
Christy Scribbles, a mainstay here in the Monday night online open mic. As I told you before, some of our poets can be very vulnerable, share things that are incredibly vulnerable. So I appreciate your bravery, Christy. Thank you so much. You know, we build community here, y'all, because like a lot of people can relate. You know, sometimes people are afraid to be a little too vulnerable or specific because they're not sure if other people can relate. And that's when people tend to relate the most. So thank you, Christy. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep this moving because right now we got a gentleman who is staying up super late to be with us right now, and that is my man all the way out in the UK, my brother Lantern Carrier. I appreciate the email you sent me, by the way. I appreciate the energy you send in, brother. You know how we do here. Let the folks know how they can find you, and then the floor is yours.
Thank you. A tribute to Muhammad Ali. Effortlessly recognized as the best-known figure of the 20th century. From the rumble in the jungle to the thriller in Manila, his outlandish persona went beyond superlatives to describe his character as we began to feel his greatness. When an epitome of both light and beauty exuded in each smile, a wisdom emanated from his lips, we knew then that he was a gift of love, more meaningful and lasting. He appeared before us, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee, nimble on toes. He was as swift on feet, with which he danced, as fast as a tiger with the hands that many never saw coming until long after they hit the deck. We ascend to glory by being bold, majestic, vibrant, like a river, oozing with character. And Muhammad Ali was much more. His was a justice voice for the oppressed and downtrodden, a clarion call for the advancement of Black people everywhere. He was a drum major for nobility and goodness, as much as he was for ascending to the rooftops of Jannah to share Allah's light. The great man transcended boxing, radiating that je ne sais quoi that all great souls embody. It's in their charisma and decorum, their wit and wisdom, their indomitable will and dauntless courage, and most significantly, the tireless service for their fellow humans. Ali personified this and was known globally for justice and altruism, for championing the cause of African Americans and others in the various diaspora across the world. He was a benchmark for human decency, inspiring an unshakable conviction for kindness, righteousness, a life of integrity, and a model of sacrifice. Some made songs of his silky footwork skills, while others did films of the legend of a man who taught that if the cause was right, throwing a gold medal into a river or doing time for becoming a conscientious objector to an unjust war was worth all the suffering endured. Ali was not short of accolades. Light heavyweight Olympic champion at 18, world heavyweight boxing champion at 22, three-time lineal heavyweight champion. He was also sportsman of the century, sport personality of the century, athlete of the century, boxer of all time, greatest boxer of all times, inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. A best-selling author, Ali also freestyle poetry with many rhyme schemes. Outspoken on injustice, he became a high-profile figure of racial pride for African Americans during the civil rights movement and throughout his career. Muslim by faith, Ali was deeply spiritual and came to believe that all men are brothers. He was interested in mystical Sufism and was known to visit visionary Shias. Farewell, Brother Muhammad Ali. You left us, but your spirit lingers, even as bugles blow on the conscious bellow your victory songs from Jannah. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Sweet, that was sweet.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for this man.
Ali is such an incredible man, such an incredible person, one of my heroes.
Peace, man. Ali, boom,
Lantern Carrier, make sure you go check this man out. Brother, put your info in the chat so everyone can give you a follow. Staying up super late in the UK, man. I appreciate you, brother. So we got some people here who like to come in and check us out, even though they're not on the open mic. I see Nancy Helgeson is checking us out again. I appreciate you, Nancy. I hope all is well with you. Of course, Mr. Paul Conqueso's here. I'm going to have him, if he sticks around later, I'm going to have him talk a little bit because in less than 2 weeks now, we are going to have a hybrid open mic and, of course, the karaoke after party. So if he sticks around, make sure you speak to him. Also, someone named Taylor Smith. I have no idea who Taylor is, but I hope you're enjoying yourself, Taylor. Tara is checking us out from the left coast. I hope all is well with you, Tara. I saw that Ray Jane was here before. I don't know if she's still here, but I saw that Ray Jane was here, our Thursday night online open mic host. Also, I'd seen who was here. Oh, Zonconto, one of the new mainstay members of the Monday night online open mic. This brother brings fire. And I also see a couple of people, I don't know who, in the Zoom named Cleopatra. They're wearing their fancy hats. I hope you ladies are enjoying yourself. They're scratching at the screen. Okay, they are enjoying themselves. All right. With that being said, we are now moving on. Oh, and of course, oh no, she's on the open mic. I already said my girlfriend. She's on the open mic, so I didn't miss her. I'm not getting in trouble. We could go to DG Clearing. All is good. Brother, let the folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for your poetry. Good to see you, DG.
Good to see you. All is good with you, so that's good. You can find me on Facebook or anywhere with DG Clearing online, so I have one poem for you tonight. Sweet Lullabies. One of my favorite songs as a teenager that constantly went through my head and kind of became my anthem went like this. Will you miss me at the sunrise? Tomorrow may never come. Lying in my bed under superhero sheets, He sings to me sweet lullabies with such disturbing eyes. He caresses me in places that even my dog knows is wrong. Will you miss me at the sunrise? Tomorrow may never come. I still hum it occasionally when I think about how my uncle would come and visit and tuck me in, then sing me sweet lullabies. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and let's give some energy to DG Clearing, y'all.
All right.
I appreciate that, everybody.
Energy, that voice, man, just is so all the way there. Thank you.
Oh.
DG Clearing. You can give him a follow on Facebook. Go check him out. A mainstay here at the Monday night online open mic. A dude who also came out and hung out with us at the New Recomposed Cafe, and including someone that normally joins us on the online open mic, but I got to see today, who's actually upstairs in the cafe. It is Mr. Gustav Salas. I hope he is enjoying himself upstairs. All right, let's keep it moving. We are now going to a brother we haven't heard from in a long time, but although every now and then he has been checking in to see what we do, and that is Mr. Speaker. Brother, it is good to see. Why? You got salt and pepper? When did that happen? I haven't seen that. You got salt and pepper. You rocking it well, though, man. I hope all is well with you. Long time no speak. Let the people know who are not initiated. Let them know where they can find you online. And then we ready for what you got, brother.
You can find me here when I can get here. Let's go. MrSpeakerInc.com. INK. Garrison Combat. Let's do this once without multiple sequels. The bottom line is all individuals are not created equal. Sometimes you need to step back to regroup. Other times you need to shut down in order to reboot. We are in a hole. Houston, we have a problem, and it is a big one. So when you find yourself in a hole, sometimes the first thing to do, baby, is to stop digging. Some people use poetry to preach, while I use spoken word to reach. Then when I have your attention, I will teach. Post-traumatic stress disorder, shell shock, combat stress, war, traumas are not pranks. Suicide is claiming one active duty service member and approximately 20 veterans per day from our ranks. Service personnel stood tall and strong for freedom and not for greed. So where are you while these soldiers are in need, while these warriors are in need? Soldiers do not need your handout, sympathy, or wealth. Just give them a smile, thanks, compassion, and a little understanding while they deal with bad health. So speak to these soldiers, sailors, airmen, Coast Guard, and Marines. They are a part of the reason why you have peaceful dreams. Just let them know you appreciate what they do, because without them, baby, the world would see the fall of the red, the whites, and the blue. In peace.
Unmute yourselves for our general, Mr. Speaker.
It's always so good to hear your words.
Mr. Speaker, tell them about it. Tell them about it.
Blessings.
7 in the building. Do them.
Thank you for being a part of this community, for that poem, and for your service. Mr. Speaker, you can check him out on his website, MrSpeakerInc.com. When you spell ink, that's with a KINK.com. Brother, I hope you are well. I hope to see you more often, man. I know you got responsibilities and people will rely on you, but I am all selfish. Get here on Mondays. Mr. Speaker, looking all good with his salt and pepper. You see it? All right, let's get it going. Next coming up is another person who's staying up. really late because they are in the UK, but they love the shenanigans here. And that is Mariella Salazar. Mariella, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for whatever shenanigans you've got.
Hi everyone, you can follow me at Made by Mariella on Instagram. So today I'm going to be reciting a poem that's inspired by one of my favorite books, The Little Prince, or Le Petit Prince in French. It's about a young prince who explores stars and planets and learns different lessons on life. And my favorite quote from that book is, "What is essential is invisible to the eye." So this poem is based on that. I had always felt invisible under the stars, watched as each bursting ray of sun slowly burnt itself to death, while flares of energy anoint me like a baptism of fire, piercing my skin with a knowingness that the marriage of sea and sky could never be consummated by tiny specks of matter whose thoughts only mattered when impregnated with the knowledge of 1,000 ancestral angels who sent prayers through symbols in the light, who quietly mourned through candles in the dark. I had always felt invisible under the stars, and in my youth I did not comprehend it. Grew infinitesimal at each blinking sign, while feet buried to ground, hands digging nails to dirt, skin clings to grass. I grasped onto reality, but stars floated with me. My body hovered between reflections of self, lent me an observer of the night, balancing between heavens that were too vast to pour into a single vessel. Thinking I could outshine stars, chase them to the corners of my sky, but unlocking their wisdom did not come from how brightly or loudly they shined. Rather, for each mile ran, each speed gained, gravity slowly collapsed onto itself. I had always felt invisible under the stars, so I learned them, listened as they whispered ancient secrets to me. For the sound of stars have stories to tell. I can still hear them laughing in the night. I too laugh with them. Gentle shapes glow as each burst of laughter births another tale. I learned the stars until they learnt me too, reminded me they always lived with me. Invisible, but slowly I make my way as the hint of daylight breaks. It's easy to forget who you are when humility is left at the door. So I thank the stars for the giggling rhythm of their dance, pray their merriment welcome me once again. Stars taught me that the loudest stars burn the quickest, and the vulgarity of an applause comes at the expense of quiet victory. For it was in this quiet victory I searched within myself to find that true brightness didn't come from shining light onto myself, but rather shining paths for others. I do not wish to burn out in exoneration, to have a recital of celebration turn meaningless with false adoration. Instead, I welcome what I can truly name, press my heart against those who can tame me, for my mind runs wild with possibilities. I had always felt invisible under the stars. I disappear once more beneath them to remember who I am. End poem.
Nice, Mariella.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for Mariella.
Great job, Mariella.
Shout out to the First Lady of Monday Night. She killed that.
Amazing writing. Beautiful.
Mariella Salazar, give her a follow on Instagram at Made by Mariella. It's right there in the bottom of her Zoom screen right there. Make sure you go give her a follow. Staying up really late just to hang out with all of us on the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Thank you, Mariella. Real quick, some people came in late. I want to shout out like Claudia up in the Bronx, BX. I hope all is well with you, sis. Marsha Rivera representing Brooklyn with the rim. No, listen, Marsha. Listen, Marsha. I am working on Get It Fitted. New Eureka Poets Cafe Fitted. When we get one, you better get one, all right? And I want to see you wear it on the Monday night. Real low, Marsha style, Brooklyn style. Shout out to our brother out in Japan, Poetic. Love this dude, love his energy, love his production. Y'all know I'm all about the production, not just the poetry. So I appreciate what he brings. And of course, Marilee Johnson coming in, joining us right after work. I hope all is well with you, Marilee. It is good to see you. Suit in, because I feel like we're just getting started. And next up, actually, even though the open mic is just getting started, we have to leave the open mic for a second, because we are going into the skiff verse. We are going to the OG of the New Yorican Poets Cafe, the true Low East Sider, Mr. Paul Skiff. Paul, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then we ready for that fire.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the welcome again, Advocate. Thanks to everybody who's here, breathing on the spark of Miguel Algarin and the founders. I'm just on Instagram at Skiffgram. This isn't fully baked and maybe never will be, but I'll do it anyway. Fist alarm clock ringing against ribs, knuckle and torso exchange urgent prompt in subconscious borderland, sanctuary of innocence, bruised dream, celestial twin of sore body, morning delivered, castigation duet strands me in transit land between nothingness and physicality being. A reality scrapyard where fragments of dream and material objects cancel wholeness, permanence, value, and need. The ambidexterity of spirit, weightless. No partition separates assault of blame, anger, and brain, punished while in slumber from sore ribs carried through day as a pile of broken plates. The monolith of perception is bewildered. My father's heart is under tongue of the doctor who says he is sorry. Upside down car transport. Dizzy fate, a half-second decision inertia will steer between two futures, one full, one a numb void that has no where. Distant towers deflate, Niagara of vanishing bodies, sky splashed with a million glittering pages of stock trades and memos, stench on the wind of burnt cables and grilled meat, street paralyzed by pistol shoved between its legs by boy anger, polishing trigger with just wanting, fits of shock where I had to stop becoming myself and not become anyone. My own fists attack me out of sleep at 3:30 in the morning, that place where night and day fraternize to complicate what is real with unless. Unless it is understood neither wakefulness nor slumber are sanctuary or prevent susceptible lapse of wholeness into disorder that is perpetual like a harmful thirst. Ask the auto dream mugging laceration across my nose if it can recognize what innocence deserves. 50-year escape ended in twist of wakefulness for which there will be no explanation. Assailant and victim, the same person. There is no court of law where a dream can be prosecuted. A dream does not have a jury of peers. I stand in corner of the room and put on my grandmother's lips. The drawer where my half-brother was hidden from me failed the test of all in good time now. The premature truth as righteousness with weak lungs and a lisp. I broke the neck of my punishment in a basement of differently abled memories out of closure's sight. where the boiler and fuse box for all the rooms of my personality could be snuffed. I emptied habitation of myself out for 7 years, then only permitted what I could carry in my heart back in. No value adds up to anything I really want, though I like to poke it with reminiscent curiosity. It is only the wind I now follow. Once motivated by my trembling hands to look for what I was hiding in a foreign country while searching for drugs in my stomach with an X-ray machine, the authorities overlooked what was there is a dead man in the front hall they could not see. These trembling hands are the echoes of my father's last breath. It still exits me, never ending, from my 17th year on this earth. The one breath of departure the emergency medic got to come out of him on the satanic chrome bed machine in the front hall as sunlight from before noon leaned on entryway windowsill, making the chrome sparkle. In life, some people are not given a choice of how to say farewell. Farewell becomes loss. You say it by discovering coping mechanisms for the rest of your fucking life. The farewell you say when you lay on the floor to feel coolness of wood with your cheek. The farewell you say when you run for 2 hours so your head floods with oxygen, then thins out all thought. The farewell you say when you sit still with eyes closed, remembering every crease in the white sheet on the gurney, every metallic knock of the medic's belt buckle against the chrome, every repetition in your own voice of the phrase, I don't want this to be happening.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Paul Skiff.
Oh my.
Thank you.
Paul Skiff, you can check him out on Instagram, Skiffgram. He's also got his own website, www.paulskiff.com. When you spell Skiff, that is with 2 F's, Skiff.com. All right, Andy Markert is supposed to be next. I'm going to go to Andy in a second. I got to cool off the mic for a little bit here. After this, and some people have come a little late. This is the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary Nuyorican Poets Cafe. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are doing this via Zoom. If you see the number right there on the screen, if you'd like to join us, 279-995-364. And we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. So if you'd like to rewatch this or any of our previous open mics, you could go to our Facebook, YouTube, look up Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And of course, you can find me. I am on the internet, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Look up Advocate of Wordz. When you spell words, that's with a Z, because what? Hip hop from the Bronx. All right, let's keep it moving. Our open mic list tonight is closed. Sign up. It begins 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You would go to nuyorican.org and click full events calendar. After that, you would click on the date you'd like to sign up for. Next week is July 4th. You'd click on July 4th to that date, and you will see here the artist RSVP ticket will be available. Again, it doesn't open up until Sunday at 8 p.m. and the only way to sign up is to get an artist RSVP ticket. It is free. Now, the anthology. If you did not get an email from me, that means I have not received your submission for the anthology. I reached out to everyone who had submitted just to let them know that we do have their poems and that we are going to start looking through them. If you have not done so yet, but you have performed on a Monday or on a Thursday online open mic, you can submit that poem for our anthology. We are doing a real book. We're going to publish it here at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and you can submit up to 5 poems that have been performed only on a Monday or Thursday. So you would put all of the poems together in a single PDF or Word document. All styles and languages are welcome, and you would email it to me, advocateofwords@gmail.com. Make sure each poem you include the date that you performed the poem. July 31st. July 31st is going to be the deadline to submit. July 31st, July 31st. So come August 1st, don't ask me anything. July 31st. We're going to be talking about that a lot more in the weeks to come. Also, this Wednesday, I'm hosting the Wednesday night Poetry Slam Open at the New Rican Poets Cafe. It will be at 8 p.m. Gustav Salas said he's stopping by. I hope a lot of y'all stop by. And if you don't know, for the rest of the summer, the entire summer, all of July and August, the Wednesday night Poetry Slam will just be $5 to enter. So if you are in the vicinity and you'd like to come see it, like to come hang out, or you'd like to come compete yourself, it is $5. Also, let's write a book of poems. Listen, folks. We've been having fun the last 3 months with the Let's Write a Book of Poems, but we're about to get serious. Not next week. Next week, the writing prompts are going to be around writing children's poems. Do not sleep on the ability to write children's poems, okay? I don't care what type of a writer you are, you should still learn how to write children's poems or children's stories, stuff like that. So we're doing that next week, but in 2 weeks, we are going to start like a month and a half, 7 weeks straight of working on an epic poem. If you've ever wanted to work on an epic poem, I'm breaking it all down. I'm going to give the structure. I'm excited about this. Nonetheless, all of that and more can be found on newurican.org or newurican.org, so you can get involved with our workshop. And last but not least, and I don't even have this prepared yet, so hybrid is going to be, and Ron, just leave those people, thank you. And hybrid is going to be in 2 weeks. I'm excited about hybrid because that is when we have everyone here on Zoom join us here at the cafe, and then we have people rocking at the cafe, and then right after that we have the karaoke hosted by Mr. Paul Conque. So I'm about to put him on the spot real quick. Paul, let the good folks know about it.
Yeah, so following the hybrid show, which runs from 7 to 9 p.m. every second Saturday of the month, we have the after party, the karaoke after party from 9:30 to 1 a.m. Sometimes it's a little bit late. I mean, it's never later. But we rock it out. We grab more than enough copious drinks at the bar, and everybody goes up. It's family. We make a fool out of ourselves. We don't record it, but we are going to start recording it this month for posterity, and so we could get folks' highlights up there. So come through if you have your own original songs, if you want to do, just classic karaoke style, or even we got UCP if you want to run a cappella. Any of that is welcome. All styles are welcome. And if you pay for admission to the hybrid in person, you get to stay for free. If you don't purchase, if you purchased hybrid show tickets, you can get the link to the Zoom karaoke for only $5. It's really fun. It's a vibe. We have the best time. I really wish y'all would come and join us. Check it out.
Second Saturday of every month, we're going to have fun. Thank you, Paul, Mr. Paul Conqueso. And of course, you could follow him at Paul Conqueso. That's why he's got his name there at the bottom. All right, let's keep this puppy moving now. Andy Markert, I hope you are ready, because we are ready. We desire your poetry. Let us know where we can find you online, and then give it to us. Give it to us. Your babies await.
Hello, my loves. How are you? You can find me on IG at Andy Meerkat with 2 T's. It's in the bubble below my name. This is a poem. It's poetry, and this is very, very new shit, newest of shit. So we're gonna wing it, see where it goes. It's called When Love Feels Like Burning, or It's Time to Face the Music That Long Ago Stopped Playing. I am painfully shy. I am scared of people. I play make-believe every day just to function. I just pretend I am someone worth listening to. I pretend my stories matter. Deep down, we are all just little boys dying to show you what they love, dying to say hello. I said hello with destruction more than I ever had without. The first friend I made in college was with a cigarette. I'll never forget the way the love of my life's eyes lit up when she saw me light a cigarette, the way she called me trouble with a smirk. I learned that I could make a friend anywhere in the world with a light, that comfort can be dispensed one stick at a time, at the core sum of a being built of offering. I love the little returned remembrances, these postcards of sensation, the way a cigarette filter feels between my fingers. How she touches my face in those rare moments she's decided not to hide her feelings, when I am more than a collection of shortcomings and bad habits. The way it feels to exhale smoke softer than air, like breathing an alien sea deep into your lungs, wherein we become the morning fog to get lost in. This is my earliest memory of belonging. In the body of a mimic that never learned to be on the exhale, how to feel elegant or normal or whole or still. When I smoke, I feel like who I was meant to be. I get to feel like you. She tells me I look sexy the first time I smoke, all fear of the burning ember between trembling fingers in the bathroom of a center. She smiles at me as if it is the first time it isn't out of pity. Nothing feels as good as a cigarette, she tells me. Nothing feels as good. Nothing feels as good. I have tried nearly every cigarette in the world. Camel, Marlboro, Lucky Strike, Parliament. I got hooked on Russian ones in a blue box. Nothing feels as good became nothing feels good without. When she died, I put a cigarette on her gravestone, let it burn to the filter in the rain. I said goodbye in the fire. I continued because I wanted to feel what she felt. I wanted to see in me what she saw. But 20 years of time, I know now I'm only strapping my body to a stake of my own construction to die in the blaze of a lie. How long can you immolate yourself in protest of yourself? Is there truly any difference between self-soothing and self-hatred when the end result is destruction, when smoking is how I concentrate? Am I not just already writing the ending before the thought? I do not want to die of not being able to breathe to death. I do not want to die. I do not want to die. I do not want to die pretending. Am I worth saying hello to, even if you don't need to bum a smoke? Can my smile do the work of my lighter? Can I survive my own self-destruction? Thank you.
That is the
Wow,
question.
Andy, that was incredible.
Wow, Andy, that was amazing.
Love you, I love
Yes.
you.
Holy
Powerhouse
shit.
shit, man.
We are fortunate
I
and gifted
flipped
that
that
you have
chemical
survived them
balance.
to be
Thank
with
you,
us
Andy.
today. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was dope, Tim. That was dope.
Andy Markert, you go give him a follow at Andy Meerkat. Here I was, I'm trying to take a break after Paul to cool the mic off, and then here comes Andy with that fire poem, man. Go give this dude a follow. He is all kinds of special. Love having him here in this community, in this open mic, even though he went and had a goodbye party. He was leaving New York City and, didn't tell me to the very end, like after it was already happening. So, whatever. Shout out to Propaganda, who wouldn't do that, who's here on the Zoom. I see you, Prop, showing up late. I appreciate you, brother. Prop wouldn't do that to me. And I don't think that next poet will either. And that is when the Jersey's own Terry Rose Jurtson, Terry Rose, who not only participates in our hybrid and has been in person, but she participates also in the karaoke, and we love her for it. Terry, let the good folks know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
You can find me on iFunny's Mom on Instagram or Terry Rose Jurtson on Facebook. And I have a new book out called Chameleon Chronicles, Words Never Spoken. This is not out of that book. This is something else new that I just wrote. For Billy, my mind dipping, I feel that feeling of being trapped and needing to escape, wanting to claw, push, break, burst through any barrier between me and the door. At this time, I make a beeline for an exit, any exit. My consciousness goes through methodically all of the places I've been before and do not, under any circumstances, wish to return. My mind wanders back to that time when he was alive and asks me if I ever wondered what would have happened if we stayed together. I lied and said no. Because how could I have admitted that night after night I would return to the place that we used to meet, hoping to bump into him there again? How night after night I would drink myself into oblivion and stumble my way back to the crappy apartment with the paneled walls and the leaky roof, providing a waterfall effect when it rained. The place where he made me dinner with what little I had on hand. How was I supposed to know that would be the last time? How was I supposed to know that when he said he was sick and dying, that he wasn't just looking for a reaction? My reaction was not to accept that as a final answer. My reaction was my mind's way of protecting me from getting hurt anymore, brushing it off as some kind of silly joke and getting him to admit that it wasn't true, when in actuality, it was.
Unmute yourselves and give some energy and love to
Not
Terry Rose
sleep on that
Jurgensen.
poet.
Crazy
Not
Trinity.
sleep on that
Terry.
poet.
Right there, I
Nice,
agree with
dope.
Rob.
Awesome.
Terry Rose Jurgensen. Terry, put your info into the chat so that the people could give you a follow. Thank you, Terry, for sharing tonight. We have so many awesome poets in this community. I love it, including this next one, who a couple of weeks ago had to step in and host for me because I had some things to do all the way from the left coast. Mr. Elemental. Brother, a pleasure to see you as always. Let the folks know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Yo, peace and blessings to everyone, to all the poets who came before me and after. I truly appreciate your energy. To the dopest host in the Zoomverse, advocate of words with a Z, you know, poetic license, give that dude a follow. To the First Lady of Monday Night, you know, this is what we do. Storm Gods in the building, Storm Forces rocking the world. Elemental.com is where you can find me. This is brand new, so forgive me for slanging paint. Shout out to the Inhumans in the building. This is the truth of traumatic stress. People try so desperately to unravel freedom, tangled in webs of deceptions and diagnosis from shrinks and priests who preach belief that faith moves mountains that stand between healing and reeling in trigger after trigger from seas of woe with pieces of yourself as bait. What do you think would swim in murky memories of trauma that sound like mama's tears ricocheting off fists landing on broken promises using I love you, don't worry, I'm all right as concealer, cover cracks and foundation of upbringing that said I love you equals complete domination? So Ike Turner, what's love got to do with control? Dig this cake, how chaos aligned kinetically, effectively create agony with threats and regret for wasting breath on such insignificance. I wonder how long I'll cry for broken reflections of hearing glass shatter or gunshots or sirens or gavels or guilty or babies crying from hunger or neglect or addiction in my family of a community. Once upon a time, we were shell-shocked, unable to re-grasp this reality, trapped in flashbacks, cause relapse of survival in vile jungles of North American provinces known as ghettos or theaters of war, next door to agents pink, blue, and orange, sending warnings in forms of good morning, America. Have your second cup of truth with us, sipping another sour relationship, burning more than taste buds with narcissist painted lips that speak so softly yet only produce rotten fruit. say they found a cause in you, design root system, crown themselves victim and demand all the spoils as if royalty was their birthright, using offensive measures so clever to keep such a delicate house of cards put together, yet use enemy tactics whenever suitable to redirect attention from irrefutable evidence of disaster in every genre of horror one can imagine, while we are seen as warring faction reacting in earnest to catalysts in uniform. There is no post. This is present traumatic stress disorder of priorities that leave me public enemy number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Of course, there's a visceral response to this. It's about survival. Keep your prescription ready, because the revolution, baby, is on its way to you. Peace.
How?
Mental. You always think that way.
Not human.
You really do.
Fuck.
Nice.
Fuck.
On that one.
Peace, bloods.
Elemental, always bringing that fire. Make sure you go check him out. He's on all social media as Elemental. You could go to his website, elemental.com. When you spell Elemental, you take the T out and you put in the number 2. My brother from the West Coast. Can't wait till you come to New York City. All right, next coming up is Kyle Studstill. And Kyle looks a little familiar. I don't think Kyle's been on the Monday night, but have you been on the Thursday night?
Once upon a time. It's been a little bit of time. So
okay, it's been a really, really, really long time. Okay, cool. So wait, Kyle, where you located?
New York City. Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Oh, okay, New York in the building. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
You know, so you've been doing this for 117 weeks in a row. Where you been? Really? Has your life really been that great on Mondays that you can't come hang out with us, Kyle? Did we offend you and you not come back or something? I'm just
it's all about the king. It's all about the king.
All right, I'm just giving you a hard time, brother. Let the folks know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Yep. So I am. So my Instagram handle's on my, my little Zoom thing here. But I am the poet Kyle S. Studstill, and you, of course, are the beautiful poetry-loving audience. I don't want to disappoint because sometimes, well, it's actually been quite a while since I've read a real proper poem, or since I've written a proper poem, but that doesn't stop me from having a lot of poem ideas. And so that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. There's a couple of, I'll give you a couple of warm-ups. So poem idea. It's called Oops, All A's. The poem is just all A's, but you read it aloud anyway as a sign of our times. They're all going to be like that. Poem idea. As a poet, you set out to type randomly on a keyboard forever, knowing that in the infinite, or the infamous philosophical thought experiment, across infinite time, any monkey will eventually write something that rivals Shakespeare, and you do. But by that time, the world has changed, and only random monkey gibberish is considered genius, you dummy. Those are some warm-up ones. These are the real proper poem ideas. They'll begin now. Poem idea. I recreate the story of friends who, the scariest night of their lives is one night when they were visiting the Brooklyn neighborhood of Bedford-Stuyvesant, or Bed-Stuy. They were leaving a party and waiting for their Uber. Down the street, they witnessed someone getting pulled over and handcuffed by cops. And when telling the story to me, they can't quite pin down why, but they had this disturbing feeling that the cops were actually just criminals who were impersonating cops. And my friends were, quote, mad sketched out. And this story alone goes on to define the way that I think about the entire neighborhood for the next 7 years. So during that time, I never visit because Bed-Stuy is sketchy. And so the poem is a tragedy in the sense that it ends before the protagonist learns any meaningful lesson. Poem idea. 3 days after I write that tragedy of a poem, I find myself in casual conversation with a friend of a friend who's like, oh, you've just moved to Brooklyn and now you're in Bed-Stuy, which is basically okay now, but still watch out for Gates Avenue, which is funny to me because I had literally just biked down the entirety of Gates Avenue just a few days before, and I didn't know anything about the street. But the thing I happened to have noticed the most was that a few complexes were having block parties. And I just remember thinking, oh, cool. Looks like people are enjoying themselves. So yeah, it's funny to me that this friend of a friend says all of this. And so the poem ends up being a gritty and subtle comedy. like a real Bukowski kind of thing, but hopefully without all of the insufferable narcissism. Poem idea. An epic hero's journey of an enterprising Black man who in the 70s organizes an up-and-coming community into an entire Brooklyn-based empire of Black wealth until what is sparked both metaphorically by racial tensions and literally by white teenagers assaulting Black residents with fireworks. It is burnt down into what we now know as the posh neighborhood of Park Slope, which, I get it, is not exactly like being burnt down to ashes, but it's still a sad poem if you are paying attention, which leaves me with my last poem idea. Just brown people living their lives. That's all this poem is about. In the poem, they literally just walk up and down the streets of Brooklyn and live their lives. Nothing important happens at all in the poem, except that maybe they aren't unexpectedly killed by police or agents of authority, but no one notices because, again, the poem is simply brown people doing normal human things. And in this way, the poem is beautiful. That's my time. You guys are beautiful. I'm looking forward to all the rest of the other performers.
I love these poem ideas. This is great.
We're all free to go home. They're not really
just fucked up.
poems,
Now
but
you
they're
got to be
ideas.
here every week with that heat.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
That was really creative. I really like that. Kyle S. Stud Still, brother. You better come back, man. You better come back. I don't care what kind of responsibilities you have in this world. You know, I don't care what kind of fun and good times you having on Mondays. You come back here. Kyle S. Stud Still. You can find him at studstill.words. All right. So, I don't see Mona Me in here, so I'm going to throw a curveball and put her on the spot. What's up, Ray Jane? You there, Ray Jane? You ready? We're having such an awesome time here on Monday that the folks can't wait until next Monday to be able to have another online open mic with the cafe. So they're going to do so on Thursday, because Thursday night online open mic is hosted by this incredible woman, Ray Jane. Go ahead, Ray Jane. Let the folks know about all that goodness you got for them on Thursdays.
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
What's up, friends? You know, don't mind my head tie. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm about to go to bed because I'm old. But if y'all are still up and with it and want to party and feel safe in another safe space that we've created, well, I can't say that that our, forefront runners have created on our behalf, so that we have these free opportunities to share unencumbered by the risk that someone is going to put you down or tell you that your voice doesn't matter, which, as you can see all around us, is already happening all over the world. So if you're looking for a safe space to say what you got to say without having to worry about being oppressed, which is just the reality of living in these here Americas, if you're on this side of the hemispheres, if that is. You could catch us at 9 p.m. Eastern every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. The sign-up rules are the same. That's 24 hours ahead of time. So I always say that y'all gonna get sick of it. Oh well. 24 hours. So if you want to spit on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, you will sign up at Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern at theneweurekan.org. Go to the full events calendar, then pick you a Thursday, get your stuff up, get that courage, push that vulnerability, just hug it, okay? Because that's what we're going to do, okay? And sign up, but make sure that you pick an artist ticket. And if you forget, don't freak out. We all forget. Sometimes we're just humans. We're just people being peopling, you know what I'm saying? Just come through. We have a good luck round, so you can still get a chance to get on, and we usually try to make space for everybody, and it's our pleasure to do so. So I'd love to see you there. We'd all love to see you there. Come through. You know what I'm saying? Advocate, go and do your thing. Boss, I got to call you boss man, because I call, Caridad boss lady now. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling in these new shoes? I'm excited and so proud of you, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, for those who don't know, Ray's referring to, I'm now the program manager here at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, so I've got to get in shows, and I've got to start writing grants and getting artists in here. So it's I'm tired, Ray. I'm tired.
Your good work is tiring.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying myself. So y'all better go give Ray Jane a follow. You see it's right there in her Zoom name at It's Ray Jane. She hosts Thursday nights, every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Music, comedy, poetry. We love having it. You know, Monday's the circus, Thursday's therapy to help get over it. Thank you, Ray. Love you, Ray. We appreciate you so much.
Love you too. Come get this love, y'all. It's for you and it's free for now.
For now, Thursday nights, make sure you go check it out. All right, next coming up is Gina Nepa. And we love us some Gina Nepa, and we love that Gina no longer asks for permission. She just takes it. She and her voice. Gina, let the folks know where they need to find you online, where they need to go follow you immediately after you rock out. And then bring the heat, sis. It's good to see you.
Yes, it's good to see you too. You can follow me at Gina Antonia Poetry, and I am just like sweating profusely because Seattle does not do air conditioning and it is hot, hot, hot today. So bear with me. I have 2 short poems. The first one is about the people who we need to exchange closure with 5 times before we close it. Okay. Title of this is "You Are the Self-Harm My Mother Thought Stopped in High School." I don't miss you. I miss when you missed me. I miss when I missed the part of you that was never going to hold true. Your truth was that I would never mean enough to you to stop from being mean to. The worst part was your cruelty came in smaller doses than your kindness did, but it came harder than you did. Every time I believed you loved what I had to say more than you loved the shape of my mouth when I said it. If I open wide enough, will you be able to see the remnants of a voice that screamed itself into its own oblivion? What decibel do I need to reach before you'll give my tonsils a break? Remember when, in the same breath, you told me you loved me so hard you could no longer exchange breaths with the ones who breathed life into you. And it's just not right now. It would never be right even now. You just don't mean enough to me. You're only hot enough when I can be mean. You see, this is the only withdrawal that gets you off. I can claim all day that I'll be better off without you, but all I'll be grieving is the loss of something that was never fun while it lasted, but always promised to be. The anticipation that the fantasy would start any day coming soon. We're right there. The hope will kill you if you let it. So this time I'll be the one withdrawing. I hope this helps me finish too. And then the second poem is one that I also wrote about a year ago, and it is on theme for tonight, and also perhaps on theme with the current cultural landscape. And sometimes we don't exactly know what the difference is. It's called Lawyer. You remember the first time someone came up to you and with bated breath asked, "Is someone hurting you?" You laughed, your bruised body wincing beneath you, as you did not until many years later know you were allowed to claim your pain as worthy of correcting. You claimed you were allowing the bruises from him. You claimed it was a game you were playing. She didn't realize that every shower burned because he had told you your body was meant to be cremated. No's didn't count from those of us who had never counted. Holes were abound from those of us who didn't know they were being mounted. If your lipstick is red enough, will it make him stop? As this man went on to publish papers, become a partner in law, become the kind of important that lets you get away with obliterating the unimportant, you remember he gets to be someone. He now gets to be paid to own others. You can't take the law into your own hands when they're tied up, when you've been bound tighter than textbooks that are now giving him access to reign supreme, to ruin people's lives for profit and credence. You'll find others to make you forget about this pain as he goes on to leave an indelible mark on the law. You wonder which mark will leave the longer impact. Okay, that's all.
Unmute yourselves and give some energy to Gina
Us all
now.
up, why don't you, Gina? Damn.
Gina, that's how you come back through. Good to hear you, Gina.
Nice read. Nice read.
Just
Gina Nepa, make sure you give her a follow. You see in her Zoom box, she's got it right there below. We could go give her a follow. A mainstay here at the Monday night online open mic. I love her energy. I love her poetry. Go give this woman a follow. All right. So, a lot of people, like I said, have put together, I've said this many times before, a lot of people have made the New Eureka Poets Cafe what it is, all those before us, all those working today, and one of those folks is the sung hero of the community, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. I always like to give him some time. He's the producer of the show, to mention where you guys can follow him online and what he's got going on. Ron Mark Thompson, speak to the people. Where can they find you, brother?
Thank you so much, Mr. Bossman. I'm going to use the same title that Ray Chain used, because you are a Bossman, but you're also a wonderful teacher and mentor and friend. So I really appreciate everything you have done for me privately in my personal life and at the New Eureka Poets Cafe. Anyone can find me at Ron Mark Thompson on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I put that in the chat. I also run an organization, the Bronx Art and Fun Hub, at BXAFH. This week and next week, I am not hosting programs, but I am not taking a summer break. Very soon, I will put more programs together online for the community, and they are all free, so you can go ahead and come on and attend. And I also host programs with the Word is Right. I put their link in the chat as well. Several from us in the community also host programs there. And you can also find me at the New Eureka Poets Cafe this Wednesday at the in the tech booth at the Slam Poetry, which, as Advocate mentioned, this summer only $5 admission ticket. It is worth it. There is so much powerful poetry on Wednesdays. If you haven't checked it out, if you're in the city, if you're in Manhattan, go and check it out. And as both Advocate and Paul mentioned, next week, the second Saturday of the month, July 9th, hybrid open mic with Advocate of Wordz, and at 7 p.m. at 9:30 p.m. karaoke after party with Paul Concasso, produced by myself and Matthew American. So come on, check us out if you can make it. If not, we'll see you Mondays online. All right, I have the pleasure of introducing our next poet, which will be Mr. Tess. Are you there, Mr. Tess? I'm asking you to unmute. And Mr. Tess, or Tess O'Moog, as Advocate always says, he is from the left coast, from the west coast. And one thing that I always appreciate about Mr. Tess, that he always has something fitting, something serious about the theme. Today is a very powerful, very serious theme. So I'm looking forward to hearing what Mr. Tess brought. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself to those who may not know you yet, and then go ahead with your poem. It's all yours.
All right, thank you. I'm on Instagram under Gaseous 2019, and I'm gonna read an excerpt of something I'm working on, titled Guerrilla Gardening. Exterior, dark, empty city lot in South Central Los Angeles, night. Johnny Chincas had been eyeing the empty lot on 41st and Alameda Boulevard. He had recruited his childhood buddy, who he called Perro, and a loca anarquista chola who went by Little Puppet. Johnny Chincas, hey, putos, we finally gonna do it, eh? Perro, man, you all weak. I've been pushing for this the longest time, pero no way. Little Puppet, menso, stop your chillar. Please, here, pendejos, let's get this shit rolling. I gotta jam before my jefe gets home. Otherwise, he's gonna rank on me for a week. Each one was carrying a backpack. They were all worn out and tagged like the walls in this neighborhood. They had scoped out the lot and they had found a couple of rips on the chain link fence that attempted and failed to keep the dumpers from throwing their trash. Little Puppet, hey, mensos, you all remember where the other rips are, right? Chicano interrogatives are always pre-answered, right? Johnny pointed south toward the east and Alameda Boulevard, and Perro pointed northeast along the Long Beach Boulevard. Perro, vámonos, putos, nos van a aguachear. Perro was getting anxious and was starting to pace like a dog in heat. Little Puppet, calm the shit down, fool. Little Puppet was all opening the mouth of her backpack like the other two. Little puppet, hey, mensos, y'all gonna have to dispararme un perrito cure. She laughed as the moist dirt was starting to enter the bottom of her gel X coffin nail extensions, painted with sad and happy clown faces. They slipped in the darkness through the chain link fence rips and disappeared into the darkness. Each one had selected an area to bomb. Perro, who made these seed bombs, eh? Little puppet, you, menso. You always sloppy like everything you do. Ha, ha, ha. Little puppet's voice was heard like a howl from childhood Llorona stories. Johnny Chincas, hey, Llorona, shut up. There are too many patrols around here. In the distance, you could hear the wailing from the LAPD Central Division. This was a historically contested space and millions of investors' dollars laid pending corrupted land planning city department liaisons. The three of them did not wait to see the lights. Perro, hey, bórrense, cabrones. The zipper sounds and thumping sounds was all that was heard as each one scrambled in different exit rips. Only the street lights shimmer bouncing off heavy silica dirt, dust, storms left behind. I los cacho later, fools, and we'll stop here.
All right, everyone, please unmute yourself. Give love to Mr. Tess.
Let's go,
Great job,
Mr.
Tess.
Tess.
What
Spit that
a
American
wonderful
meat
story.
Let's go, man.
Really powerful and good.
Beautiful storytelling.
I don't even know what to say because you already said it.
Let's talk.
Amazing, amazing. Mr. Tess never disappoints. Thank you so much. Also, thank you for keeping our open mic international, more than one language. You know, English is not the only language we bring here. You know, we welcome all languages. Mr. Tess, it's always a pleasure of you having you here. So thank you so much for being one of our mainstays, as we say. All right, next coming up, I am so happy. And this, I swear this is just a pure coincidence. Wilma, are you there? Yes, you're there. Wilma Luz, aka Dr. Caban, or aka, she just put her IG handle, We Gypsy, in her name as well. Wilma is a very good friend of mine. Our paths crossed in the Bronx. She has been in the Bronx Memo Project, which just launched volume number 6 last week. We both attended in person in the Bronx, the book launch party. I'm so happy we're both in it. I know Wilma has performed here on Thursday evenings with our current executive director, Labua, before she became the executive director. Wilma, is this your first time here on Mondays?
It's my first Monday night. The theme was raw, and I decided to be brave this evening.
And I'm glad you're here. And I also forgot to mention, Wilma, you have visited us at the cafe in person. I saw you at the hybrid open mic. You were actually sitting in the front row, right in front of, Advocate of Wordz. So I'm so glad you keep supporting us, different programs, different ways. Wilma, please introduce yourself to the Monday audience here, and then go ahead with what you're doing. Oh, yes.
I was chuckling when Advocate of Wordz said, who's Wilma Luz? It's because I'm Wilma Luz. Today I'm the brave girl that's taking off the academic mask, and I am going to be myself. The title of my piece is PSTD Roar. Such a distinctive sound. Low vibration, deep-throated. Oh, the syncopatic roar of a Harley engine. First time I heard it was when he rolled up to my place, the little cottage in the back roads of a sleepy Connecticut hamlet. I heard him less than a mile away. It was like a tap to my soul. Vroom, vroom. It was such a different sound than the beefy Yamaha YZF that I was riding for about 2 years, right after my upgrade from my Black Ninja crotch rockets. His Harley Deluxe excited me. It shifted a gear in my soul from neutral to fifth, revving me up. Here I was thinking we were riding our own, but his intention was to pick me up and to tell me to ride, bitch. I resisted proudly, declaring that I ride my own. But he insisted and said that there would be no turning back after this ride. Enticed, exhilarated, and teased, I straddled my passenger seat and snuck close, submitted, and held on for dear life. Down those windy roads that make you feel like you never want to get off. Moments where you're breathing in the same wind, feeling the space in your being where your soul seeks another. That is when I realized I wanted him, coveting his Harley bike. After a year of dating, I brought my first Harley Sportster and I never looked back. The thought of his and hers Harleys was thrilling and pretty badass. However, what I didn't know was that I was with a badass that rode high, placing my life in danger. My guardian angels work in triple time every time I was his passenger. 4 years later, sharing the same home, I discovered his truth and begged him to get help. He clung to his lifestyle and rode like a bat out of hell. So I did what I needed, biding my time until he decided to leave the place we called home. I came back to fulfill my legal obligations to 1 more year. In the space where the ugly truth was revealed, walking into rooms with flashbacks, memories. And outside on the driveway, my Harley remained covered under the blanket of flashbacks, pain and loss. I lost interest and just didn't want to look at her. One day, I shook off the post-traumatic stress and dusted off my Harley, named her Raven, and enjoyed some wind therapy to heal from the deception and disappointment. Turned on the ignition and ooh, there it was. The plug firing, sequencing, the Harley heartbeat echoing into my brain's trauma cells. Oh, how do I release it? I became nauseous before mounting her, pushing through the heartache, and I pushed back on that throttle, pushing through the heart palpitations, and I sped off. Damn it, I'm not giving up my Sportster. I have to ride free. That is when I decided that I was going to superimpose my riding memories over the memories created with the heartless Harley rider. One morning I heard his bike and thought, shit, I'm losing my mind. What do I need to do to erase the sound from my trauma memory cells? One night I heard the bike and I looked out the window. He was driving onto the driveway right next door to me. What the hell is he doing there? Here I was now living alone, walking through this haunted house, and now I have to freaking counteract the sight and sound? What the hell is going on here? Oh, hell to the no. My fight and flight instinct vacillated with shaky breath. Which one would take over? It kicked into high gear and I pulled on my riding chaps, my boots, my jacket, slapped on my red lipstick because this mofo was not going to see me busted. I turned Raven on, warmed her up and revved her up as I sped off, showing him that I still ride and he didn't take that away from me. When I got back, I saw the bike was gone and thought perhaps he was visiting the old neighbor. However, 2 weeks later, I figured out that the mofo moved next door, renting the house from the neighbor who was living abroad. And now I had to hear the damn sound every time he took off and came home. It was a living hell. Really, how the hell did he decide to move next door to me? I was digging my riding boots into the ground and I was not leaving. Hell no, you must go. Thankfully, the pandemic came. A moving truck came and I saw him roll away on his bike. And that is when my true healing started. Next, my moving truck came. I moved, I overcame, and now I upgraded to a road king. I call her La Reina. And this chick will never ride bitch again, because I ride my own. I ride free, writing about my Harley trauma and how I'm in my own freaking zone.
Win there.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Velma.
Great, Velma.
Right up. Nice.
Do it all
Yo,
the
thanks for
heat,
taking us on that
all the
ride with you.
rumble, all the damn
I would ride
throttle. That's how you
alongside
do
you
it.
anytime.
Gunning down the road. Of course you got to be here from now on.
Oh, Vilma, put your info in the chat so the people could give you a follow so that they could ride up onto your DMs and remind you that it's Monday and you need to come hang with us. Vilma Luz, welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. That was a fantastic piece. As I often say, I am very sorry for what you've had to endure in life, but there is a piece of me that's happy because I thoroughly enjoyed that poem, so I'm happy you went through that. I'm sorry. I'm horrible like that. Vilma, make sure you put your info in the chat so people can give you a follow. Also, a shout out to Mr. Tesla Somoke. Every time he comes on Mondays, he brings it. I appreciate it. And one time, I want to unmute everyone so we can give some love to the sung hero, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson. Y'all, can y'all unmute yourselves and give some love to Ron?
You ain't down with RMT.
Always thank you, down with RMT, yes, you know me, but then it's kind of easy to host when you got people like Vilma and Mr. Tesla Somo coming up, right? They make it look good, they make it look easy. Elemental knows what I'm talking about, Ray J knows, Paul knows, Ron knows, everyone who's hosted an open mic knows. And I think Midnight was in here. Shout out to Midnight. Oh yeah, he still is here. Shout out to Midnight. I want to make sure that I let him know that I saw that he was here. I also see the Platinum Professor is here, Mr. Doug Silver. Shout out to you, brother. He is always checking in. Appreciate you. But now we are going to India to my man Umesh Mohekar. And I love how this man performs his poetry. Not a single syllable feels unloved. I love it. Umesh, let the folks know where they can find you online and your book, and then bring it, man. We ready for your fire.
Hey, Arukat, congratulations. Hello, everyone. Okay, here we go. You can follow me on Unmesh Mohitkar, IG and Instagram. I got to open mic every Saturday night at 11:30 a.m. New York time. Please do join. Okay, here we go. It was freezing cold. Animals were wandering in search of warmth. Cold-blooded but beautiful moon was watching the world in its bewitching splendor. Families sleeping in their warm homes. Dark young men sleeping sound on the street. They were not beggars, but hard-working laborers. Sometimes hard work is not enough. Education insufficient. Opportunity is all that matters. In this opportunistic world, opportunities are rare and never fair. About pain and suffering, opportunities just don't care. There was no knock in the middle of the night. No wind to disturb the unrelenting sleep. No chance to change the world. No chance to mend the broken pieces of their ever-changing world. Silence was dancing naked in the street. Violence of silence was invisible to the naked eyes. Eyes cannot see the paralysis of fear in the hearts. Mere analysis cannot overcome the paralysis of a broken society. Tomorrow will be a new day. Silence will be shattered into noisy decibels. Few will wake up to the sunlight. Few will never see the light. Long live the broken dreams of stolen opportunities. Long live the broken dreams of stolen opportunities. Thank you, thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give this man some energy. Umesh Mohekar.
What a treat, Umesh. What a treat.
Be back this Saturday, Umesh. Back this Saturday.
Make sure you go give this dude a follow. He runs his own open mic as well. It's a pretty big deal out there in India. You know, when he's not going cave diving, you know, or hang gliding, you know what I mean? Now when he's not living living his best life on the side. He does some big things with poetry out there. Appreciate you, brother. Give him a follow at Unmesh Mohikar. All right, next coming up is Honey Lung. There she is, Tanish Cord. Let me unmute Tanish, who also hosts her own little, 1-2 up on the interwebs. Tanish, let the folks know where they can find you online, what you got going on in Instagram, and then we ready for your poetry, sis.
Sure. I just wanted to shout out Advocates workshop. I went for the first time a few weeks ago. It's really awesome. So, y'all gotta go check it out. You can find me at tanishkantos.com. Tanish Kantos on IG and YouTube. And I have a few, just two about the recent, I see that we're a lot of people are losing rights. So we need to be a little kinder to everyone and just, so this is Life Beyond Lightbreak. I walk into the indifference of suffering, a scalding, windowless room of crippling rumination. 2 doors opposite, enter and exit. You can make it through if you recall the hope of light sprinkling through tree leaves or the weightlessness of wind tickling hair wild. Surviving that room means finding and surrendering your indifference to your own suffering. Possessing and living by your own self-worth. Fumbling into deserving your own worry. Then the light cracks, the roof falls, you see the exit door, but even in light break, you must leave. Foot after foot through the door, you must end your indifference to others' suffering. To forgive with PTSD means a conscious flashing back to frozen memories and unthawing them with self-love. In spite of what you could have or should have done, in spite of what they told you you were, what it made you believe about yourself. Plant feet firm. Feel the earth's core hotter than the surface of the sun. Realize you are a star. Surrender to your own divine. Earth will help you. Thank you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Tanish.
Surrender to your own divine. Earth will help you.
Always
Nice
interjected with the
I love Danish. I love Danish. I love.
I had a hard time hearing what anyone had to say because everyone was trying to send their love to Tanisha at once. Sometimes it goes real quiet. I don't know, for those of you who've been here on the Monday night, sometimes it seems like it's real quiet, but you see everyone in Zoom going like this. That's because there's too much noise and Zoom doesn't know how to handle it. Tanish Core, give her a follow at Tanish Kantos. She'll be doing things on IG, all right? She'll be teaching her poetry, and she'll be spending her time with us on Monday nights, especially of late. She went away for a little while. Don't think we don't know that, Tanish. Don't think we don't remember that. Don't think we don't have a scar right here because of it. But you've been coming around. Love having you. Tanish Kaur, we like to call her Honey Lung. Now you know why we call her Honey Lung. All right, real quick, want to shout out that Kelly MC is here checking us out. I believe Kelly be frequenting on Thursdays, but I'm happy to see that Kelly's like, I'm gonna hang out on Monday a little bit. I hope to see more of you, Kelly. Deadpan Lizzie, the Beanie God, had checked in a little late. Not recently. Deadpan's been here for a little while, but I forgot to shout her out. Shout out to Deadpan Lizzie. Happy early birthday to you. And also shout out to the Velvet Storm, Vasilios. Vasilios, we miss you. You need to be coming around more. We appreciate seeing you here virtually, but we want to see you in person as well. All right, let us keep it moving. Next coming up is, because we got 4 more poets to go, it is one of the newest members to the Monday Night Online Open Mic, Sofongo. Wait, am I saying it right? Pronounce it.
It's Pongo. It's Pongo.
Pongo. So I don't pronounce the S.
No, you pronounce the S. Spongo. Spongo.
S. Spongo?
Yeah, that's close.
Spongo. All right. I'm
Yeah,
gonna work.
that's
I'm gonna work out, brother. Yo, so let the folks know they can find you online because I know now you tapped into the drip. You got it. You're gonna be here every Monday night. I know you are. So let the people know they can find you online, and then the floor is yours, brother.
All right, guys. First of all, like Tanish said, be kind, be kind, be kind. Second of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to Zomkonto Mbonisi Zikali for handling my sign up for last night. I'm traveling all over the world, so I was a bit tired, and the brother helped me up to sign up for today's open mic. For those who want to follow me, as you can see there, you can just go onto Google or Facebook or whatever, just type in Spongo. I'm the first person who's going to pop up. Definitely, I'm the first person who's going to pop up. So yeah, let's get right to it. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. It's like what time is it? It's like 3:41. Yeah, I'm in Rome today. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna keep it low key. So yeah, before I get into that, another thing, guys, I'll be presenting my first book, which is Trials, in Cesena. It's in Italy on Wednesday. So please wish me luck on that. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to read a poem titled Sunset, and I hope it kind of fits in with the theme. It goes something like this. As the sun goes down, the shadows unite. In the other hemisphere, we are touched by new light. But the sun sets for the vendor. He ain't done yet. The chips he made all day couldn't feed his son yet. Day to day, he dodges trouble, thought bubbles for ideas to lessen the trouble. Tomorrow remains a puzzle. He is living for the moment. His wife is on the go-to, no energy for romance. His uncle is in hospital. They stabbed him in the alley. The shadow of death has been walking in the valley for a t-shirt of a party that he got from a rally. The man he voted for is sleeping in Pali. The salary they get is changed to these leaders, yet they believe that change is through the leaders. The revolution was sold to the highest bidders, dribblers, and murderers. Educated brains tied within the chains of capitalistic gains. These are cannibalistic aims, humans swallowed alive, zombies, the walking dead. The sun sings, but it will rise. We have our lows to know our highs. Someone's born when someone dies, so our prayers reach the skies. Peace. Please forgive the swallowing of the words there. I'm a bit sleepy. Thank you.
All the way from Rome. Give it up for this dude, yo. Give it up for this brother.
We are global, international. Yes.
Good job.
Congrats on the book.
Congratulations to you.
Here he is. It's like, yeah, I'm in Rome doing big things, but I'm going to come hang out with y'all. It's late at night, 3:41 in the morning. Go give this dude a follow. Make sure you put your info in the chat as well so people can copy and paste it here. New member of the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I think it's only his second time he's rocking, but I think we're going to see him a lot more. No matter where he goes in the world, he's going to be hanging out with us from now on. Appreciate you, man. All right, we got 3 people to go. And next up is Gemelissimo. Is Gemelissimo here? Let me unmute him. Where you at, bro? There he goes. Oh, I'm feeling the hat and the goatee. I'm loving it. Let the people know where they can find you online. The uninitiated, let them know where they can find you online. Then we ready for your fire, brother.
Okay, well, I'm on Generosimo Brian Franco on Facebook and GNRLSMO on Instagram. And bear with me 1 second. And now everything is in the chat, including my July 4th Cafe Generalissimo. And I will go ahead and read 2 poems for you, which I wrote Saturday at Wordz. So they're a little rough around the edges, but the first is called How I Got a PhD in Surviving Heartbreak. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? I was an awkward 18 when I discovered the existence of Tina Turner and her video for Let's Stay Together. I was in love. I fell in love with her aura. Her aura surpassed her sensuality. Ms. Tina Turner's aura is a gift to the world. When I watched her sing, she was singing to me. She always sang for everyone in the world. Tina Turner is a woman who knows her skin is an x-ray of her soul whenever she leans into a microphone. When Professor Tina sings, she teaches us the good Lord designed the human heart to be broken and spontaneously regenerate. A heart loses pieces of itself every time it breaks, but gains resilience for its inhabitant, so a person can share more of their heart after each next time their heart breaks. And the next poem is called Why Roller Coasters Need Surge Protectors. Every once in a while, I write a love poem about a past love. I read it over and over in silence till I read it aloud, which makes me both laugh and cry because all romances are like roller coasters or maybe log rides that splash water on me to dampen the adrenaline that surges through my being from the lightest touch of a fingertip or the gentlest of kisses. But every touch and kiss can't last forever, and every love poem is about history, which retells memories, and remembering history reminds us roller coasters have long, creaky uphills and downhills that take our breath away. And if we survive loop-de-loops, we experience dizziness that feels like the morning after drinking too much tequila. A love poem can feel like a down feather bed with satin sheets until I read it aloud. Then it becomes a straw mattress on a dirt floor after being kidnapped by a Colombian drug gang, which reminds me a love poem can be a love poem and a hurt poem at the same time. And all roller coasters and log rides are rides we wait in long lines to experience, but must always come to an end. Thank you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Gerilissimo.
Apart from that, man.
Thank you.
Great job, Gerilissimo.
Always good to hear you, man.
Gerilissimo, make sure you go give this dude a follow. He put all of his information into the Zoom chat, and I saw how some people were just really quiet until they heard everyone else start to be quiet, and then they jumped in just so Gerilissimo can hear it. We love Gerilissimo around here. Make sure you go give this dude a follow. And also every other week, he hosts his own open mic before the Monday night online open mic, so if you want to get some more fun there, make sure you go give him a follow, and you can check out his open mic. All right, we down to our last two. Next up, she's no longer the birthday girl, but a couple of weeks ago she was, and we all sang to her, and it's all on YouTube forever and ever and ever, and that is one of our favorites, Vex Lex. Vex, a pleasure to see you. Send my love to your love. It was a pleasure meeting her, and let the folks know they can find you online, and then the floor is yours, sis.
Thank you, Advocate. And thank you again for singing me happy birthday. I'm always going to remember that. All right, so I wrote this piece today. It's called Nightmare on First Street. When I heard about the decision to overturn Roe versus Wade, the headlines leapt off my computer screen and burned through my corneas, embedding itself in the sclera, until all I could see were reds, whites, and blues, a combustion of pseudo-patriotism, blinding me with stars. The floor mimicked quicksand, trying to reel me in, with the jaws of Clarence Thomas chomping at me and the claws of Samuel Alito reaching for my uterus. Amy Coney Barrett wears a silk colonial gown with a white coif, pointing her menacing digit my way. I am on trial for crimes against the patriarchy when I am urged to plead my case, to beg for forgiveness. I vomit a sea of obscenities. I am tied down with them each claiming a part of me. At the crack of a gavel, the scales of injustice are pressed against my trachea. They want me to surrender, but I would rather use my last breath to defend my honor. I am in a crowd of lustful men who see me as an assembly line, manufacturing newer versions of themselves. They tell me that I can leave at any moment, but remain in my way. I push through wandering hands, past the auction where I am up for sale, and promise to be the lowest bidder. I am told to be happy because things could be far worse. I find myself in bed, dressed in all black attire. Morning, June 24th, 2022. mourning women. Thank you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Vex Lex, y'all.
Great poem. They like that, Vex Lex.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for that. Publish that.
Thank
you.
Vex Lex, you could give her a follow at Vex Lex Poetry. Thank you, Vex, for sharing of yourself. I love this. I love this community. We get everything, including the poets sharing, of themselves and using their voice, looking to empower others. I appreciate y'all greatly. Thank you. Follow Vex Lex on Instagram, Vex Lex Poetry. All right, we got one more poet to go, and that is last but definitely not least. And where'd Justin go? Where'd Justin go? Where? Oh, there he is. Justin! Just incredible. It's just, even though he missed the last hybrid, acting like we weren't going to notice, but we noticed. We noticed. But we're going to take off work for next month, right? Less than 2 weeks, right, Justin?
9th, we in there.
All right, there we go. All right, man. Let the folks know they can find you online, and I'm going to shut up and let you rock.
Cool. Thank you for the space. You can find me on Instagram, just_incredible89. Facebook, it's my name, Justin Ramsey. Really thankful that tonight's theme was chosen. I feel like it's a very heavy subject. It's a subject that's close to me, and that's going to be reflected through my pieces tonight. I have a haiku and 2 short poems that I'm going to share. So I'll start with the haiku. Every single scar is proof that I have been tried, but I'm still standing. The next poem I wrote about 2 years ago is called Pick Up the Phone. It goes, pick up the phone. Tell me what's the deal. What is on your mind? Tell me how you feel. We gotta keep it real if we all wanna heal. You need to open up your heart. It's time to break that seal. I know it hurts like hell to hear the truths that I'm giving, but facing up to facts will always lead to better living. Holding past pain only puts it on repeat. It makes you use a broken lens to view the people that you meet. Hitting that bottle full throttle will only make it worse. You'll no longer feel the pain, but you'll never lift the curse. I beg you, please take heed of my words in each and every verse. Leaning into that hurt is the only true recourse. So when you're ready, I'll be here, a friend with open arms and open ears, to help you come to terms, to help you face your fears, to hug you real tight and to wipe away your tears. And this last poem I wrote this morning, there's moments when you deal with stress or trauma that, the memories just flash back to you. This poem doesn't have a title, but here it goes. Every now and again, for reasons I don't comprehend, I flash back to the night that I lost my best friend. It was business as usual that winter night in '96. We were watching 2 stupid dogs in bed with a bowl of tricks. When my mom grabbed her chest and fell to the floor, I watched in terror as EMTs came through the door. Scared and confused, I cried through the night. I remembered grandma saying that it will be all right, but it wasn't. I learned that my mom passed away and that I'd be moving with Diti to BK. Living through trauma is an everyday fight. The healing process doesn't happen overnight. 26 years later, and I'm still working at it. I've stumbled, I've fallen, but I'll never, ever quit. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give this man some love.
Good job, Justin.
Thank you for that last
Very
poem.
hardworking.
I love Justin.
So vulnerable.
Continue resting in power.
Here, man. For
Difficult to
real.
lose your mother no matter what.
That work, man.
Blessings.
Thank you, Justin. Make sure that y'all give him a follow on Instagram, just_incredible89. And if you think I said it too fast, you didn't get to write it down, you see in the Zoom box right there, he's got his Instagram. Justin, thank you so much for sharing, man. I appreciate your bravery in sharing that poem. Like I tell people, man, it's not easy coming up and doing this stuff on the stage or on Zoom. So, I've enjoyed the poetry tonight. It's been a rather cathartic experience for me. You know that we do this every Monday at 8 p.m. We will be back next week for July 4th right here on Zoom. So even if you barbecuing with your DD and all of that, you can still check us out right through the phone. You see Propaganda. I saw him, I don't know if he's still here, but he was out in the middle of some field having his phone right there to listen in on everyone. Oh yeah, there he is. He's right. Oh no, that's a step. Yeah, look, he's near the rocks and the shores, right? He's like, this country's crazy. I got to get out the United States. But before I swim away into the ocean, I got to listen to the Monday Night Online open mic. You can give me a follow, Advocate of Words. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. Hybrid is in 2 weeks. This Sunday, we're doing Let's Write a Book of Poems. July 31st is going to be the deadline for you to send your poems in for the anthology. We're going to be putting all of that information up this Wednesday. It's $5. This Wednesday, it's just $5 to come out and check the Wednesday Night Poetry Slam open. If you've never been, make sure that you come and you check it out. So, nuyorican.org. Nuyorican's on all the social media stuff. Anything else? I think I've covered everything. Shout out to the sung hero, Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, for producing Thursday night, 9 p.m. Ray Jane hosts with the Thursday night online open mic comedy, music, poetry, all of that good stuff. So I think I've rambled on for long enough. I think that we have heard my voice for long enough. So as is tradition, we like to close out the night with the Good Night Sweet Poet poem, but we always have it with someone else do it because we tired of hearing my voice. So I'm going to shut up, and Justin, who we just heard, is going to take us home. Justin, take us home.
Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Algarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, hosted by Advocate of Words. On behalf of the community tonight, I, Justin, would like to say, good night, sweet poet.